Hey everyone, welcome to this video. So if you watched my last video where I have shown you how to create a port scanner using a simple Python socket object, everything worked, right? But you may be thinking, hey, what's up with this particular method? Why is it scan IPs when I'm really starting with a port? This should be a scan ports and you would be right. So what I wanted to show in this video, how to use this ID to rename some of the method. So this method should be just a scan ports, not scan IPs. But you just don't want to come here and change this to ports. Okay, that's likely going to break a lot of things wherever you are calling this function. Okay, like over here. Okay, so this is gonna fail this time. If I run this, okay, it's gonna fail. So enter an IP. So let's do 192.168.1.106. And ports is 0 to 100, and see it's gonna complain now, hey, you have changed something, that particular scan or IP, it's an attribute error. There is nothing like that. So in ID, when you are renaming something, you just don't like select and delete and rename. So let's just first of all do the redo. So now it's back to the original, and we know that we need to fix that. The right way to fix everything you will be, you can select that, right click on it, then go to the refactor. Now the rename, you see that it doesn't show up in the original list, it's always under the refactor. Then you go down to the rename. What it is going to look for the scope. Hey, if you're changing here, should you be changing everywhere? Search in the comments and strings, search for text occurrence. Okay, I usually select everything. So let's just do and change it here to scan port. Okay. And I'll do everything, and that's to my scope, and I click on refactor, and it's gonna pick up, and it says, hey, this one, the method you are renaming, it's reference in at least one reference in one file. If you want to look at the reference, you can open it and you can go there directly and see this is the place where we have referenced that method. Now we know how many times it's been referred. So here I have to do refactor. I'm comfortable, say do refactor. So now see what happened. As soon as you change this method name, it not only got changed here, your method down here also got updated just fine. So the next thing we will do, we'll change this starting IPs and ending IPs because they're not IPs, a starting port. So we're going to change that to refactor, rename, and we'll do starting port. And again, we'll do the same thing, refactor, and that's good. These two got changed. And over here, we'll do ending port. So again, do refactor, rename, and then go and make it a port, hit enter, and look at that, this one also got changed. Okay, and with that, again, let's demo this. So let's make a comment here in main. In my environment, I have a metasploitable. My meta exploitable is running at 112.168.1.106. Okay, that's where I'm running. So again, it's a very simple program using the socket programming language or socket library. We created a very simple class PortScanner where we're going to initialize the class with the IP address, and we're going to create a list of open ports that's empty right now. And then we created few methods for scan ports. That method is going to get the IP address that you're initializing. Then it will take a starting port and an ending port. Like say you're scanning between 0 to 65,000, 325, something like that. So you place those ports in here. So there has to be integer value. And then you loop over these ports. You start port in the range, starting port to the ending port plus one, because the range is not inclusive of the last one, so you are adding the one. Then you are going to check is the port open. If it's open, then you're going to append to the port, and you're using another helper method is open, which is defined here. In this, you are actually using the socket library. Okay, you're just making connection, okay, to the port and passing the IP. So in this IP is this port open, and you're looking for the exit code, and then you are closing the connection. If the exit code is 0, then when it's open, so you're passing true, or else you're passing false. And we have another function to write everything back to a file. Let's change that to W for now, and let's try to run and see how this code actually behaves. So here, enter the IP to scan. So 192.168.1 dot what? 1.106, and let's scan from 0 to say 10,000. That's the range I want to scan. Hit enter, see it's all scanning, and everything is done. And since we are saving all of that in a file, so you can look at the output. So we are done scanning up to 10,000, and these are the ports that are open, and you can see some of the open ports like FTP, Telnet, okay, some SMTP, DNS, HTTP, your SMBs, okay, and some of the higher ports that you probably don't know on the top of your head. You just have to go and look up and maybe do some banner grabbing. So that's what it is. That's how it looks. Let's see if I bring it down. So there we go. So that's how you rename your some of the functions and parameters that you have used. You never want to just go ahead and delete and update something. It's definitely going to break your code, especially if you're importing this in other modules. It is definitely going to break a lot of stuff and create a lot of headache for you. So please use this method and have fun. Thank you.